Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a hell of a lot better day than I had today. If you got on Baba, you made some money. But unfortunately, I was stuck doing other things. But so this is going to be a quick recap today. Um, excuse me, the TIF was a ticker on my watch. It reported earnings that weren't so good, and we had a gap down and it recovered some in the open. So I was expecting it to, fade back. And that's what my plan was going in. Really, my plan was it testing this level and fail and give me a short opportunity here. But when it opened up above it, and then I saw the VWAP, running up, I was like, man, this is pretty strong. So I looked at it against this level here. And this is the level that I really should have shorted it off of. Because it did fail. It opened back here. It pushed up a little. And had it come back and tested this, I would have taken it short. It didn't test it. It started to sell off. And I was like, well, the VWAP's right here. Let's see if it bounces off the VWAP. It didn't. It kind of held at this level. It came down and tapped the 9 and it held here at 62.23. And so then I said, well, if it fails 62.23, I can take it short there. And then I waited for it to clear the 9 because it had tapped it here. By then, I had the worst entry you ever could have. I got in here at 62. The lowest this thing went was 61.89, only for a split second. And it came back. And so I waited and I watched it at the VWAP. Thought it was going to fail a VWAP, so I added here at 62.33. And now my plan was that if it pushed and held a VWAP, flip it short. I had 62.33 or 62.32 in. My average was 62.22 after this ad. So I would have lost 10 cents on it and flipped it long. Had it, that was my plan, but this thing jumped over my order that I had waiting. So that plan didn't work. It ran up the 70s before I could even think about it. So at this point, I was stuck. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to close my position because I felt, hey, it may reject this level and then pull back in. Well, here again, this candle took off. And before I knew it, it was at 30 cents, 63.30. And so I said, well, it's against the upper deviation band. Maybe this thing won't do much. So it opened here, popped up a little bit, then pulled back in. I went ahead and added here at 63.30 and got my average up to 62.50. Yep, 62.54, which is where VWAP was. And so I did mention in chat that if this thing came back to VWAP, then I'd be good. I'd be at break even, and I'd be happy with that. Well, it did lose this level because had it not had this level held, I would have been out. I had brought my average up from the 20s, and it wouldn't have been too bad having to get out here. But this level held as resistance. We got the fade back to the VWAP. But did I cover? Nope. I waited because this thing looked so weak that I felt I finally get the move. Didn't get it. This one candle ran straight up to 63. And I should have learned my lesson by now based on these two, but I didn't. This level still held. So as long as this level was holding, I still had hope that this trade was going to work. And it pulled back in, actually lost the VWAP. And when it did that, I thought, well, hey, we're going to get somewhere. My first cover would have been here at this level, 62.23. Then I'd have been looking for it to fade back into 61. But it didn't. Got bought right back up and started to push up. And it was gearing up to push this. And I said, well, it failed to push it here, failed to push it here. And we'll look to see if it fails this time. As soon as it didn't fail and it confirmed over 62.98, I went ahead and took it off. So I fought this thing pretty much all day. By the time I was done with it, there was really nothing else going on other than Baba, and I didn't take any trades on it. I was watching it, did like the way it set up, but based on my morning, I just didn't go anywhere else with it. So that was my day. Just what I always say, a bad entry is gonna affect the rest of the trade. And this was probably the worst entry in history, and it actually affected everything I did from here on out. And there's nothing else I can say about it. I see the mistake I made, and it's just one of those things that you do or that happens every now and then. You'll make that mistake. You think you see something that's not actually there, and turns into a grind that just wears and beats you down for the rest of the day. And by the time you're done with it, you're no good to do anything else. And that's pretty much what happened here. But that's all I got for today. I won't be in tomorrow, but should be back Friday with the recap of my day Friday. So I hope everybody has a good day tomorrow. Stay green. Don't make the mistakes I made. And we'll see everybody on Friday.